There's a new king in town. There's a new #1 solo money-making method in GTA Online. The Cayo Perico heist is here, and it is a beast. I thought we were done with rags to riches, but Cayo Perico came in and it said, hey, you need to make a bonus episode. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the Cayo Perico heist to make upwards of $1.5 million an hour. That's ridiculous, dude. That's like almost 3 times what you could earn solo before. So we're gonna dive into it today, and it's all coming up after the drop. The newest additions to GTA Online is the music locker, and this is how you're going to be able to start up the Cayo Perico heist and buy all the stuff you need. If you want to buy that, you need to go here first. So it's right at the back of the casino. Head to the back of the casino, go in through the door back here, and once you get in, you're going to need to go down the stairs and talk to Miguel Madrazo. He's going to prep you about the goal for the heist, and once you finish this cutscene, you're going to have to go into Warstock Cash and Carry and buy a submarine. The submarine is called the Kasatka, and it is a bit pricey. It's $2.2 million, and even though it's a bit expensive, you are going to earn this money back very, very quickly. If you have the money for it, I would also recommend buying the Sparrow for $1.8 million and putting missiles on it when you can as well. That's going to bring the total price to over $4 million. If you don't have that money right now, don't worry about it. Just after you buy the submarine, the next thing you should be saving up for is the Sparrow. It's going to save you a ton of time prepping these heist missions, and if you plan to play this heist a lot and make a lot of money, the Sparrow is definitely something you're going to want. Once you've bought your submarine, it'll pop up on your minimap. Head over there, you'll get put into another cutscene. Basically, just follow the steps the game's going to give you, and you're going to start the heist storyline. Here's the deal. Really, I think you should just play through the heist the first time on your own and just enjoy it. Don't worry about any crazy tactics, any of the stuff we're going to go over in this video. Just play through your first heist playthrough and just have fun. On your first playthrough, you're always going to get the Madrazo files in the vault, and there's a bunch of cutscenes scattered throughout, so just enjoy it on your first playthrough. Enjoy the cutscenes, enjoy the story, and everything we're going to go over now is assuming you've already done the heist at least once. Once you head to the planning board on your submarine, click Gather Intel. That's going to put you in a scope out mission where you go out to the island, Cayo Perico, and essentially you scope out everything you're going to need for this heist. There is a ton of stuff to scope out. I had to make a completely separate video going over all of the scope out points, so I'm not going to go over that in this video. I'm just going to go over the 2 most important scope out points that you're going to need to make the most money possible. The first one is the drainage tunnel. This is going to be your infiltration point if you want to make the most money. So while you're in your scope out mission, grab a boat, go all the way to the bottom of the map where the compound is. Once you get to this point, jump out of your boat, swim down, and you'll find this tunnel. Now, you won't need to take a photo of it or anything. It's underwater. It's just automatically going to detect that scope out point when you get near it. And now that you've scoped that out, you can enter through there in the heist finale. The next scope out point you're going to want is the main dock. This is going to be our exfil point. Now, in these scope out missions, if you get detected by the guards, you're going to get thrown right back to the top of the map at the airstrip. So take your time scoping this one out. Just make sure you avoid all the guards. You don't want to be spending more time trying to get back here. Once you've done that, those are the only 2 points we really need for this. So just go back to the airstrip or just get detected and teleport back to the airstrip, and we can move on to the setups. You'll notice on the screen here, it says hard mode activated. Doing the heist on hard mode really doesn't change anything except for the fact that you're not going to have any extra lives. But the upside to that is you're going to get 10% more money on your primary target, which, as you can see here, is bearer bonds. Bearer bonds are normally only worth 1.1 million, but because we have the 10% buff, it's going to be worth 1.21 million. We're going to be completing this heist in complete stealth, so the difference between normal and hard mode, you're just not even going to notice it. So you're always gonna want to do this heist on hard mode. So to set it up on hard mode, there's only one way to do it. After you've completed your first heist or any heist, you're not gonna be able to start another one up for about 5 or 10 minutes. After that, Pavel is gonna send you a text letting you know you can set the heist up again. In order for it to be on hard mode the next time, you need to go back to your submarine and start another heist within 48 minutes, which is one in-game day. So if you start the next heist within those 48 minutes, it's gonna be on hard mode and you're gonna get 10% more money on your primary target. Now that we've got all of the technical stuff out of the way, we can move on to the setups. Now for this entire heist, I clicked record, and from the time I started scoping out the heist, I literally clicked gather intel to the time I completed the finale and got paid. The entire thing was 53 minutes. I'm not kidding. I made over $1.6 million in this video in 53 minutes. It is absolutely insane. So let's go over this method and how to do it. There's 6 different primary targets that you can get. It's completely random on what's going to spawn in the vault, but the 6 of them are tequila at $900,000, a ruby necklace for $1 million, bearer bonds for $1.1 million, a pink diamond for $1.3 million, Madrazo files for $1.1 million as well, and then a panther statue, which is going to be a limited time thing for $1.9 million. Like I said, that's completely random. Whatever you get, just go with it. We got bearer bonds, so we're gonna fall probably right in the middle of how much money you can hope to make. Realistically, if you get tequila, you can expect to make around $1.4 million from this. If you get the pink diamond, on the other hand, you can expect to get up to $1.7, $1.8 million per hour. Now, we're gonna wanna use our time wisely if we wanna make the most money possible. So we're gonna go over the exact setups you're gonna want to do. For your entry vehicle, you want to use the submarine or the Kasatka. This is a pretty easy setup mission. You're only going to need to do one in order to get this vehicle. For a bunch of these approach vehicles, you actually have to do 2 setup missions. So doing this and only having one really speeds up the process, and I mean, the fact that it's also the best entry vehicle in the game helps out a lot. For our equipment, we're not going to want to use the demolition charges. The reason for that is if you've scoped out the drainage channel, you can actually get the cutting torch instead, which does the exact same thing and also allows you to get in through the drainage channel. So choose the cutting torch, do that one, and you'll also be required to do the other 2. So fingerprint cloner is one you're always going to have to do, and then depending on what you have in your vault contents, the other one is either going to be key codes or plasma cutter. Because we got bearer bonds, we got key codes. So the 3 equipment setups we're going to do are cutting torch, key codes, and fingerprint cloner. As for the weapon loadout, it's really up to you. If you're doing this solo, the 2 I would recommend are either aggressor, because it's got a fully auto shotgun that's great at close range, or you can go with conspirator. You can never go wrong with an assault rifle, so that's a pretty safe bet. When you're doing these setups, this is why I said the Sparrow is going to save you a ton of time, because once you start it, you can just go to the back of your submarine and take the Sparrow right out. That means you're not going to need to drive a boat all the way over to the mainland every single setup mission. It's literally going to save you minutes every single setup. What's also going to be extremely useful is making use of your submarine's fast travel. So if you go into the driver's seat of your submarine here, click space on PC, square on PlayStation, or X on Xbox, and instead of having to drive or fly all the way across the map to your objective, you can just fast travel your submarine right next to where you need to go. Again, that's going to save you minutes every single setup. If you want to save even more time, once you get out of your submarine, open up your interaction menu, go down to services, return your submarine back to storage, and when you have whatever you need to get in that setup mission and you need to go back to your submarine, just request your submarine again, and it's going to teleport your submarine to the closest spawn point next to you again. All of those are just little tips that are going to save you maybe a minute or 2 every single setup. You would have noticed that we haven't done any of the disruption setups, and the reason for that is because if you do this completely stealthy like we're going to do, you actually don't need to do any of them. Doing the weapon setups means that the enemies are going to have less powerful weapons in the heist. Of course, that's not going to matter if they never shoot at you in the first place. Same thing with air support. The air support buzzards only get called in if you get detected, and it's up to you whether you want to do the armor one. Personally, I don't, because the armor doesn't actually cover the enemy's head, so they're always going to be a one-shot headshot anyway. So basically, if you want to make the most money possible and you back yourself to not break stealth, you really don't need to do these. So if you've got your Sparrow, all of that should have taken around 40 to 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes if you're stuffed up at a few points, and we're ready to start the finale. So go ahead and start that up. Your entry vehicle is going to be the Kasatka. Your entry point is going to be the drainage channel. Your compound entry point, drainage channel as well. Exit point is going to be main dock. Pick your weapon loadout and make sure you put suppressors on as well. So let's start it up and I'll walk you through it. This first bit should be pretty self-explanatory. Just swim all the way up to the drainage channel and cut your way through. And I'll talk to you once we get in the compound.
Alright, see you in maintenance room.
Once you're in here, there's a certain amount of enemies you're going to want to kill. Just copy the path I took and kill the enemies I killed, and that's going to get you up to the key code room pretty safely.
How likely is it I have two operations in the same way, huh? Now, we look for the vault. Maybe start in the central building. You're in the area where Mr. Rubio's personal bodyguards operate. These men will know every soldier under their command. No disguise will fool them.
Once you're in this room, there's two things you're going to want to do. The first one is open this safe. This can get you anywhere from 50 to 100,000 extra dollars, which is a really good little money boost. And then also check this room for paintings. There are a bunch of secondary loot locations that you can access in the compound, but for pretty much all of them, you're going to need 2 players because you're going to need to swipe 2 keycards to access those rooms. This is actually the only secondary loot spawn in the entire compound that you can access as a solo player. So always check to see if you've got a painting, which as you can see, luckily we did. After that, it's pretty straightforward. Just hack the keypad, go down the elevator and loot the vault.
Excellent. The elevator. Next up, the vault. And here we are. Again. We have the combination. Just take your time. So, on from there, why would have fought Mr. Rubio with our local justice? From what I can tell, they have sealed the drainage pipe and you will need another way out.
Once you come out, you're going to want to take it slow. Just remember that your footsteps, if you're sprinting, are going to alert a lot of the guards. And a quick little shortcut to get down from this balcony is actually just to jump off. It's not going to lose any money. Just make sure that there's no enemies below you, because when you hit the ground, you're going to make a fair bit of noise. Then creep your way to the exit door, just like I do here, and I'll talk to you when I'm outside.
If you see anything you like,
Now that we're outside, there's 4 specific enemies we're gonna need to kill here. The first one isn't even facing you, so that's pretty easy. Just headshot this guy. Second guy is pretty simple as well. Just headshot him. And this is where it gets tricky. So you got 2 guards here. You're gonna need to take them out really quick. I tried to get as close to them as possible. That way it's easier to take them both out. So take them both out really quickly and then take this camera out as well. Then get on the bike and follow the exact path that I did. Once you get to the main dock, you're going to want to take out this guard and this security camera here and go in this shed and grab any of the secondary loot. In this gameplay, I was trying to get the Elite Challenge, so I needed to complete this in under 15 minutes and completely fill up my loot bag. So if you want that extra money boost for the Elite Challenge, definitely try and fill up your loot bag. We only got 1 thing of cash here, which was a bit disappointing, because as you can see, our loot bag still isn't full. But that's alright, there is another secondary loot spawn just across the way that we can access. So if you do need to access this secondary loot spawn, just again, kill the enemies I kill and follow the path I take.
It pays to be selective with your looting. If it is too heavy, it will slow you down, perhaps too much.
After you've filled up your bag, just make sure the way is clear and get out. That's pretty much it. So there you have it. With the Elite Challenge completed and completing it on hard mode, we made over $1.6 million in about 55 minutes. That is absolutely unheard of in GTA Online. It's by far the best solo money-making method in the game. And if you keep repeating this process, you're going to be rich in no time. So that'll do it for Rags to Riches solo. That is until if we ever get a better solo money-making method, then I'll have to update it again. So if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing for more stuff like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Boys!